Yeah, when you have an issue at work, you turn to text roulette. And maybe a leadership coach, mindfulness consultant, public speaker, and author like Susan Wehrley, who joins the show.
Susan!
Good morning.
One of
Good
our
morning,
favorite
Radar and Elizabeth.
business coaches. We're so excited to have you join us back again for Text Roulette. You've done such a great job in the past, and we know you're willing to help out our mixers, and we love you for it.
Thank you. I'm happy to be here.
Well, we look for you when there's questions about work, of course. So if you have anything bothering you at work and in your business, 414-432-1099. We've got Susan Wehrley for the morning here. And you know what, Susan, let's ask you this one that was messaged in until we get some other mixers that are probably going to say, hey, we need to know from you what else can you help us with? So how can I change things at work when meetings could be an email, the emails could be a text, and the text messages can wait until a convo tomorrow? Is there any polite way to ask my managers to stop turning everything into a time-sucking event? That is the message that we received.
Oh my gosh, that's like the number one question I get.
Yeah,
really?
Really?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
Because leaders think that collaboration means having all these meetings, but oftentimes there's such a waste of time. Or they think collaboration means just busting into somebody's office to talk about something that they're anxious about, and it is a time suck. So the question about how to approach it in a way that's effective, first of all, I want to say take a deep breath. Because
okay, we're breathing.
Right? I mean, that could be such a punch in the gut. And when we get a punch in the gut, we go to this place in our brain of judgment. I mean, can't you think all the thoughts already going through somebody's mind? And it just gets you spinning and it gets you anxious and agitated. So no matter what you say, I can give you the perfect words, but the studies say that communication is only 7% words, and it's 93% all that emotional energy you're bringing to what you're saying.
That's it.
Think about it. Your body language is telling a story. Your tone is telling a story.
Oh, yeah. So, I mean, think about the difference in these exact same words. If I say, can't we just have a meeting instead of, you busting in my office, that's like, whoa, sarcastic. But think about if I take a deep breath and I say those exact words and I say, can't we have a meeting instead of you busting in my office to take care of this? Now, the words busting are strong. Don't get me wrong.
But the way you said it.
But notice the difference just in the energy. And I say that because people worry too much about saying it perfectly in words, when really you have to shift your energy first, your mindset and your energy.
And then the body language you had mentioned.
And the body language follows the emotional energy. People are intuitive. They can read that judgment. And it's the judgment that really sets them back. But I want to say, in order to shift that judgment, one of the things that's important to do is, I just wrote a book called Shift the Ego at Work. And we see other people's ego, right? We see that person who busts in our office or always wants to make everything urgent when it's not. But what we don't do is slow ourselves down enough to be compassionate. Like, oh, I get what that looks like. I get how I can do that when I'm anxious. So I'm not going to judge that. I'm going to have compassion for that. And when I do, we can shift it. I can shift it because I can see they're masking with their ego. They're masking this grandiose ego. Like, this is so urgent, when really deep down inside, they're, so anxious about something. So when you get curious and non-judgmental, you could even say, hey, what's going on here? I'm wondering why this is so urgent, and why we can't just put this in an email, or why we can't wait until our meeting.
Okay, so this is business coach Susan Wehrley helping us out with Text Roulette this morning. And you just mentioned the book, Shift the Ego at Work. What a great gift to maybe give your boss.
Boss's day. Right? Here you go.
Just put this on the desk here. I'm just looking at this. But like you said, all of us have an ego, and how all of us can shift our ego at work. We love when we talk to you here with Text Roulette. Susan Wehrley, you do such a great job of getting right to the point and helping people get practical solutions for these everyday problems that they have at work. For people listening, if you've got a business dilemma, problem, send it in right now because we've got Susan Wehrley for a couple minutes this morning, and we're going to try to get a couple more texts in here at 414-432-1099 for text roulette to help people at work.
The mix.
Hello to everybody that's watching. Susan, great job. We've got some texts that are coming through. I know Radar had another one there.
Yeah, we have one other one, but
that will get to you, and then we'll go with that here. Hang on just a second. Should we, because of the time? Okay, Nick Collins, you were asking about tickets. We've got Alex Warren tickets coming up at 8:50 for everybody that's watching.
Gotta love it.
We're looking at some of the other texts that are coming in this morning for Text Roulette with business coach Susan Wehrley. If you've got a question, you can throw it there on the text line.
Let us know what's going on in your work world. Bugging you. Those meeting things. That was good.
Mm-hmm. Tone. It's all about tone.
It's all about tone. Oh, okay. Tone in the body language. Don't rush in there and start screaming. It's coming up on the mix. Problems at work? Problem with the boss? It's text roulette. That's all you have to do is bring it to text roulette. And we have business coach, our friend Susan Wehrley, also an author. You're a speaker. You really help out our mixed family. And you've done it before, and you're doing it once again.
Thank you, Radar. I appreciate that.
Yeah, so we have another text that came in on the Siding Unlimited text line while we were waiting there. Yesterday, my boss said, "We're a family here," right before assigning weekend work. Is that actually meant to mean we support each other and step up when needed? Should I ask if this will happen all summer? Ooh, working in the summer on the weekends.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, I'm noticing a trend here, aren't you? How people are so afraid to speak up. And that's because that's their ego at work. In their mind, they're already creating a story that if I speak up, there's going to be some severe ramifications. And I just want people to stop and pause and think about that, because those storylines are what keep us from being empowered, not that other person. And think about that for a
Yeah.
moment. So
Yes.
what if
Yes.
you imagined yourself speaking up and just having a conversation, not a conflict? So you could simply just ask, hey, I'm happy to be a team member and a family member here in support, but I'm just curious because I want to plan my summer. Is this going to be just one weekend or is this going to be a trend?
Susan, you have said this before, that word curious. Hey, I'm just curious.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a great way to kind of approach a subject with a coworker, a boss, anyone.
Because you're genuinely just
curious.
asking a question. I'm
Yeah.
trying to not make a statement in disguise.
Right.
I just really want to know, and I just need to know. And even again, we talked earlier about how your tone is so important, and the way you say it. You said it in such an open way to receive information. You're trying to be curious. This is why we love you, Susan Wehrley. You just are so great.
Yeah, can you come with us when we have our next meeting? We
I know.
can say
Can you just
this.
sit there?
Susan says, go ahead and say it's for me, Susan. And we're just curious.
Well, thank you for that. Well, think about it. It's the story in our mind that creates the feeling of judgment. So thoughts create feelings, create behavior, creates results. So if I'm already thinking a storyline of being a victim, that's the victim ego. If I'm already thinking that storyline, that's going to come out when I'm saying what I'm saying or asking what I'm saying. And that person receiving it is going to be like, geez, what's going on here? Because they didn't know what was going on in our head. But if you're just like, I wonder what this is about, and I'm going to ask, like the person coming in the door, like, hey, can we schedule meetings instead of having you just come in my office? Because that gets me off my thought process. Or, hey, is this going to happen all the time that we're going to have weekend work? Just curious. So that's really the big shift from the ego to actually being aligned, is to get out of that lower level of consciousness of judgment, fear and judgment, and just get aligned to an open mindset and curiosity.
Yes.
Curiosity. I
so
love it.
good.
Yes.
Business coach Susan Wehrley. She is an excellent speaker and author. Shift the Ego at Work is the new book, which it's half off now through tomorrow for $9.99. Where can people get your book, Susan?
It's Amazon Prime Day, so that's why we offer it. We're offering it for 50% off through Friday. It's normally $19.95. And the key is that once you buy the book, please make a photocopy of your receipt and send it to me at susan@bizremedies.com. That's my email. And I will send you a link that will give you a private online assessment, so you can see if your ego might be getting in the way of these dynamics.
Ooh.
So you can shift it. So it's a $99 value, and we're doing that all as part of Amazon Prime Day. Susan@bizremedies.com.
That's so great, Susan. Okay, so everybody, we're going to take a quick little break here. We just had a text come through on the Signing Unlimited text line. Difficult coworkers, but wait until you hear what question was asked. Susan, the business coach, is going to answer that coming up on The Mix. Yep. All right, Mixers, those of you that are watching, we're going to talk to Susan here off the air, record it, and then play it back, a little behind the scenes of what we do, because we got to get to commercials. All right, Susan. So we've got a text that came through here. We're going to roll with you here really quickly. And this will play back. Oh, we've got another one that came in that's amazing. Oh my gosh. Hang on, Susan. Hang on. We can probably get to, I'll just tell her real quick. Okay, Susan, we're going to give you these two. And then just keep in mind, and you're always really good at getting great to the point, because of time, we have a contest coming up. So we'll have to give pretty quick answers to these two. You're great. Awesome.
You had to work on your frustration. That's what I saw that when I was like, oh, we got to talk to her after the break here. Yes, definitely.
We've got two that are great that she'll be able to get good answers to.
You need help at work? That's why you come to Text Roulette, and we've got business coach and author Susan Wehrley joining the show this morning.
Yay!
You've got your text messages here as well. You got Elizabeth and Radar. It's The Mix. And Susan, okay, we'll get right to this one that just got texted into the Signing Unlimited text line. What do you do when you are told that you need to work on your frustration and team camaraderie?
So it's about the mixer.
It's about the mixer who texted in. They are the one with the issues, not somebody else.
I love that. Okay. So first of all, it's hard to get that kind of criticism, and I understand that. And so just notice your ego that might be offended, and you're judging yourself and judging them. Again, what we want to do is become self-aware. And then the way you shift that is to just take a deep breath and ask yourself this one question: how might I use my anger in a way that is simply a catalyst to tell me something has to change? Because that's what's happening here. The anger is not the problem. It's that you're not listening to the wisdom of your anger that is telling you something has to change. And when you ask yourself that, oh, I'm feeling so angry, what is it telling me I have to change? Once you hear that, then step into that and ask for the change you have in mind.
Okay.
Oh, that's good. Okay, so you have to do it calmly and with curiosity, as you have said before, Susan Wehrley.
Yes. And make that alignment, inner alignment of like, I'm really mad. That happened to me just the other day as my IT person. I was so mad about something. Then I asked myself, what am I angry about? And the answer was, she's not being transparent with me enough. And so then I just stepped into that and I said, hey, here's what I need from you. I need a little more transparency up front, so I'm not surprised on the back end. And notice how calmly I could say that.
Once you realize it, because you've identified it. You identified it, Susan.
Exactly.
Susan, I'm kind of going through the same thing with a certain program here. Maybe I need to approach it that way instead of getting
Radar's been
frustrated.
sending messages to IT for the last week and a half.
I just need some transparency. Why isn't this getting like it's resolved? Okay.
But also, I want to mention really quickly, this mixer that sent in this text for Text Roulette right now, since we have business coach Susan Wehrley on, it takes a lot to openly say, hey, I was told at work that I'm getting too frustrated. I'm not a team player. And clearly for you to send this in, you are doing some self-reflecting. And that is, once you say, Susan, as a business coach, that's the first step to really fixing this problem is understanding, how are you presenting yourself at work? What energy are you bringing to these conversations and to the room?
Yeah, exactly. Wow. That's some good stuff, Susan. Do you have time for one more?
I do.
Okay. All right. So here we go. What should I do when a team member did something to lose my trust? Ooh. They took a personal text group and took a screenshot and sent it to the bosses. So higher up.
Someone took a screenshot. Okay. No, I'm just going to say right now, right here. You always need to think, everybody. Do not put anything in writing or in print that you don't want the bosses to see. But we all have that best friend at work. And now if the best friend at work has broken the trust and has sent the screenshot, how do you come back from that?
Personal text group might have been talking about the boss. Oh, boy.
Yeah. And
Probably
I
venting.
just want to start by saying, take a deep breath. I'm feeling that gut punch. That's where it all starts. Our gut is our unconscious brain. And that's a punch in the gut that can send us out of alignment. And I want you to just breathe into that. And I use the stop technique. Slow down and breathe. Tune into that gut punch. Observe that you feel betrayed. That's what it is. And when we can name it, we tame it. Name it to tame it. Name it to tame that reaction that you feel. Okay? And then go to the P in the stop technique. And then you perceive a possibility of how to deal with that by asking yourself, how might I deal with this betrayal I'm feeling in an effective way? And what we want to do is slow down the brain to listen to that intuitive voice within, because you know what you need to do. You know if you need to take this person out for coffee and just say, hey, what's going on here?
And they have to probably deal with the fallout from the bosses now, too.
What's going to happen? That domino effect.
They have to own what they said in that text.
How do you if you quiet your mind, see, your intuition knows all the pieces of the puzzle. I don't know those, but your intuition does. You know them. And when you quiet that ego's chattering mind, that answer is there for you on what to do in a very sticky situation like this.
And you're shifting the ego at work, which is the name of your book.
Yes. Shift the ego at work.
And we linked it up here on our Instagram Live, because we're streaming right now too, for people that want to reach out to you. But give everybody a shout out what that website is, Susan.
So you're saying just go right to Amazon to get the book, Shift the Ego at Work. And once you get the receipt, take a copy of it or a picture of it, your phone, and email it to me at susan@bizremedies.com. And I will send you a free link to our assessment so you can see how your ego might be affecting you at work.
You got a big ego or know someone that does? This might be
Right?
the perfect book for you. Wisconsin's own Susan Wehrley,
Yes!
business coach, friend of the show. Thanks for helping out our mixers. We always
my
appreciate you.
pleasure. My pleasure. This was fun.
Thanks, Susan.
Thank you, Radar. Thank you.